Get ready to see two of the most informed surfers of 2016 fight it out for a quarterfinal spot. The winner of this heat is going to be taking on Carissa Moore. Malia Manuel in great touch at the moment. She'll be surfing in the red jersey, the Hawaiian. And then Stephanie Gilmore, the 6-time world champ, the 3-time winner of this contest. And during the break, we did have a wave ridden, but it wasn't a score of substance. Malia Manuel just locking in a 0.37. But on the inside, having a look at this one as some beautiful lines approach. Winky Malia just drives down the line, up into the pocket of the wave again, all style. As she looks for more. A bit of foam on the face to deal with, but she has no problem letting go of another major turn and finishing with great flow, a nice floater on the inside.
Here we go. The top of the ride. There's a clean wall, so this is a good opportunity for her to lean on that rail and chuck some spray. And there it is. Nice fan out the back. Deep bottom turn in that second turn. That was really nice. We talk about Malia and how she's got such a graceful technique to her, but she really mixes it up with flair as well. You saw that third turn right there, Ronnie. She actually got the fins released. I really like that ride. I thought that was excellent surfing.
And looking inspired to get herself into the title conversation. And she's going to put a 7.33 on the board for a second wave, also counting on that throwaway still, the 0.37. Steph Gilmore yet to get a ride. Well, Malia Manuel now looking to strike a psychological blow with 24 minutes to go, looking for a solid backup score. Silky smooth, top turn to get started. Again, just whipping that tail around. And now building speed for a strong finish. Driving up into the lip, drifting that tail. High risk surfing from the Hawaiian as she looks to finish on the inside. Nice little floater there, that's going to feel good. And Steph Gilmore is going to be chasing big numbers to get herself back into this heat.
Is arguably easily the best maneuver we've seen in this event from the women. And she's already thrown down one of those maneuvers. This one's even better. Again, great technique, utilizing a transition of the wave. While she's going to need speed, so she'll go high. There you see how she went high and then dropped down. So now she's got speed to burn and ripped through the fins there. I mean, that was laser sharp surfing. And again, this is from the cliff looking down on it, and it still looked super impressive. This is the angle I really wanted to see, Ronnie. Watch that tail. She has got a ton of speed right here. And actually, I don't think she was going for a tail slide in her head. She was just cracking it as hard as she could. And naturally, the fins released. And I love how she didn't bobble. She just took 1 or 2 seconds to regain control. I mean, I would love to see this thing break into the 9s, maybe even 9.5. It was just that perfect mix between risky surfing, amazing technique, power, speed, flow. What do you want?
Waiting on the number to drop for Malia. And there it is, an 8.33. The judges just leaving a little room in the scale out of respect for Steph Gilmore and some of the surfing she's done earlier on in the year. But Malia, that is going to be the benchmark score. And Steph is going to have to really do some high-risk maneuvers in order to match the Hawaiian. An 8.33, a 7.33. Steph Gilmore hasn't even taken a wave yet. But here we go, 19 minutes to go, and Steph Gilmore finally takes off. It's a smaller ride than what Malia had. She's going to have to do some explosive surfing. There's a beautiful snap there. And she's flowing down the line now, building speed. She needs some high-risk maneuvers, a lot of time on the roof to finish off with that big floater. But it was missing the height in the wall there.
Yeah.
How many points better do you think Malia's wave was than this?
Well, she did get a major carve right here. She flexed on that maneuver. She just like Malia, Stephanie Gilmore has cryptic power. You don't have to be a brute to be a power surfer. So I like the comparison between these two surfers. Just like, who are we talking about? Bianca and Alessa, how they surf so different. Stephanie Gilmore and Malia surf very similar. That fluid power.
These are, for me, the two best styles on the Women's Championship Tour. Really feminine, a lot of flow, but like you said, the power is disguised in that style. And Steph blitzed this wave, but it was half the size of Malia's ride. And I think it was scored appropriately. 2 points less than Malia's 8.33. Stephanie Gilmore logs a 6.33. She now needs a big number. Pressure applied by Malia in the early stages. Steph now looking for a 9.8. 9.33.
On a day like today, it's perfect offshore.
And here we go, Gilmore. She's after a big number, 9.33. A little behind this ride, and she's going to get caught up here. Just 2 turns. It's not going to be the number she needs. Just under 15 minutes to go. Ross Williams, you've got some great history with Winky, a semi-final finish. And now a third. Joining the surfers in the lineup, Rosie Hodge is out there. We're going to check in with Rosie in a moment. But right now, Malia Manuel is trying to improve on a 7.33. Digs into this first turn. And just flowing down the line here. This wave's going to steepen up. And Malia just banks on a different carving approach. Not sure that's going to better the 7.33. Rosie Hodge, how are you enjoying this battle around the surfer in those manoeuvres? And, you know, maybe it was even a little bit better than what it looked for us, Ross, that move.
Well, yeah, I was loving it. I was thinking 9.5. But let's see if we can see what Rosie was talking about. Here's the back view. Watch the board come out the back. Bang.
For Gilmore, who will be comboed. But here is Steph. She's after a 9.33. Strong first turn. Drives up into the second move. She's going to float this section. Just 3 maneuvers, though. And she kicks out.
It's all about this first turn. Nice high line, drops down, whip. So some good width there. Nice carve. Little snap between and then the float. The problem with the score, and why it for sure won't go into an excellent range in my opinion, is because each of these maneuvers were rushed because the wave was so fast. So she couldn't get the board all the way around just to snap the second turn.
So Steph's got something to work out there. These slow starts are crueling her at the moment, but she does get her best wave, a 7.2 on that last ride, and she continues to narrow the requirement. She's now after an 8.46. Priority though with Malia Manuel. Well, she turned a garbage wave into a 6.33, but Malia uses priority on this one. Look how clean this first piece of water is, and Malia lets go of a smooth carve. Just the one turn, but it was fun to watch.
I had Luke Egan absolutely punch me in the back of the head paddling around a buoy. It was amazing. We'll get back to that.
How are those plates holding your skull together? As we see Steph Gilmore ripping in, chasing that 8.46, having to rely on the same turn quite a few times on this ride. A bit of foam on the face here, surfing this wave well, but it's not allowing the freedom that Steph would love. She looks for a big finish. She finds it on the inside. Great surfing, but my mind just keeps going back to the 8.33.
Nice set wave here. You can see she is psyched right here. Just can't wait to take off. Winky's such a rippable wave. Opening maneuver, nice clean snap. And she moved her feet a little bit on that second turn. I love how she really utilizes her entire surfboard. She went into like 3 or 4 different types of maneuvers. Even though this wave it kind of offers the same section, you have the luxury of changing it up. And Stephanie did that. She had a snap, a carve.
So the judges giving a lot of credit to the first turn and the strong finish from Gilmore. She actually logs an 8.67, the highest scoring ride of this heat. And Ross Williams, your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's big. You know, we've been, you know, obviously in here picking apart from the booth how excited we were with that layback snap, that tail slide from Malia. That's easily, in my eyes, the best maneuver.
And Malia's going to get an opportunity here. She needs a 7.55 on this ride. Nice first turn. A nice wall stretching out in front. Just loses it a little bit in that maneuver. Taps the lip. Speed float, trying to get down the line to this section. And a solid hit. From this perspective, it takes a bit of the height out of the wall, but that's a good size wave. And Malia needs a pretty solid number, a 7.55. A great battle between two of the most stylish surfers on the Women's Championship Tour, not just of the current era, but of all time.
Wow, I really enjoyed that surfing. If I was Malia, the only thing I would have changed in that ride is just a big old fist pump to try and sell it to the judges, because, you know, she needs some help right now. That 7.5 is a pretty solid score. There's a big wave, though. I'd love to see a replay from down at sea level so we can appreciate and see how high that wave is. It has made a difference in scores.
So waiting on the numbers to drop now. Malia chasing a 7.55. Here's another look at it.
Strong opening carve. So great rail work there. Just a little tentative on that cutback, so now she's going to re-engage with a lip. Nice snap there, right into pocket. That's the most critical part of the wave. And finish it again with another solid, clean closeout maneuver. So, in my opinion,
In your opinion?
she got it. You know, I've been very clear how I thought, had my feelings in that heat, but it didn't go her way.
6.7 for Malia Manuel. She didn't get the score she needed, and Steph Gilmore, after a really slow start to that heat, claws her way back into the lead, and she will take on Carissa Moore in quarterfinal number 2.